And who's going to win? Gray or green? Place your bets now, folks. I think green's going to win. Gray killed himself by running into green. That's embarrassing. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play 1001 Games. I'm your host, Gaming Jay, and today we're going to be playing Demolition Derby. Now, full disclosure, I thought this was Destruction Derby, which is, I think, a little more well-known Demolition Derby style game that came out much later than this one. This one came out in 1984, and this game is so... I wouldn't even say that this game is, like, unknown, but, like, you know, like in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's no Super Mario. People may not have heard of this one. And it is so, quote-unquote, unknown that it didn't even have its own Wikipedia page. What the hell? I always look up some interesting facts and tidbits about games before I play them. I look, Wikipedias are obviously one of my main resources, but I have the book that I'm working from, the 1001 Games Just Play Before You Die, and I look things up in other places too. But there was no Wikipedia page for this, which it blows my mind. It blows my mind. So as you can see, this is a Demolition Derby style game. It is all about ramming your opponents with the rear of your car, just like in the real thing. So we got a little digital audience at the very top there, and we have a bunch of cars. They all just sort of rammed butts, and then they stopped, and then they're all giving it a thought, and then they got into this big tussle. The interesting thing about the computer opponents in this game is I feel like after they get rammed, they all kind of like sit there and contemplate life for a bit before they decide to get back in the fray. They kind of like sit off to the sidelines after they get rammed, and they think, boy, that was kind of rough. Do I really want to be in a Demolition Derby? What are you doing with your life, Tigress? I don't know why the guy's name was Tigress, but that's actually a badass name. If your name is Tigress, you should be in Demolition Derbies. Okay, we're going to throw some quarters in here and go ahead and get started. I, of course, am using my sweet driving wheel for this one. Though, that said, the controls for this one are a bit wonky because in Demolition Derbies... Well, I'm the blue car, by the way, in the bottom. But in Demolition Derbies, you have to drive in reverse. That's just how it works. You don't want to be ramming cars with your engine, because that's a very quick way to damage your car. So what you need to do is, like, drive in reverse and butt everyone with the butt of your car. And so that means that when you're driving, when you're playing one of these games, you're actually driving in reverse, right? Like, think about it. It's like reversing your car down the street. You have to steer left if you want to go right, and right if you want to go left. And this, it's kind of wrinkling my brain, if I'm being totally honest with you. Like, you can just see by, like, the accuracy of what I'm doing here. I'm kind of flailing all over the arena. I'm getting a few strategic butt slams in here. You know, my car's butt is slamming into other cars, but I'm trying to do a lot more than I'm doing. Again, very interesting game. You know, like, I'd be interested to see other people try this, because it looks maybe a little easier than it actually is. So I look like I'm doing horrible. I mean, first of all, you know, I am horrible at video games. Let's get that out of the way. Actually, just kidding. I think I'm not too bad at video games. Oh, that car just exploded, and he left his keys. He left his keys just hanging out there. I want those keys, man. I don't know what that did. Hope it's keys. Oh, and his car just exploded too. Oh, and there's a tire. Now just hanging out here. What does this tire do? Gonna bounce the tire around a bit. I think you can, like, knock the tire and it can bounce into other cars and damage them. Wow. I did not think that we would actually... Oh, get the screwdriver. I know it's health. I know it's health. Oh, I couldn't even get there. Oh my god, I'm just all over the place. I did not think that we would actually survive in this game and that we would get very far, but it's gonna ram this guy into a corner like a jerk. Oh, nope. I steered the wrong way. So, Demolition Derby here. Cool fact about the arcade version of this game. It was actually more of like a cocktail-style cabinet, like a top-down viewed arcade game, than a traditional arcade cabinet. And so think of it like this. Normally when you play arcade games, they're like this vertical... They're kind of like a vertical shelving unit that has like controls and stuff built into it. I cannot even steer over to get this guy, by the way. Oh, we just missed each other. All right, I'm going head first. Forget about ramming him. I can't steer while I'm going in reverse. Is he dead? I don't know what happened to him. His car is just smoking or something. Oh, we got him! Yes! Sucker! But anyway, most arcade cabinets are kind of vertical, and you stand in front of this, like, essentially a cabinet with, like, a TV built into it and controls. Now, things worked a little bit differently for this one. Boom! Boom! Where this was like a, think of it like like a table. So you're looking down at a table, and the whole tabletop is a screen. And then around the table are wheels. So you could have up to 4 players. There was a 2-player version of this, but I'm just talking about the 4-player version. And so essentially everyone, so you know, the bottom of the screen might be in front of my wheel, but my buddy could be on the opposite end of the table, so he would be looking down as if he was at the top of the screen, kind of looking down towards me, if you're following what I'm saying. And essentially, I bring all this up just because I think that is really awesome. I am such a fan of like video games that exist in like different forms and formats, and it's so refreshing to see like interesting takes on games. And back in the days of arcades, when like arcade hardware was made custom for every game, they could really take advantage of like unique hardware setups like that. So I think that is super cool. No, get out of there. Get out of there. See what I mean about, by the way, when you ram a car, it just sort of sits in the sidelines? Like that guy at the bottom there. What the hell is he doing? He was just sitting there kind of like thinking about life. He was like texting his kids, trying to figure out what he has to do later in the day. Okay, we're gonna get these keys. I don't know what they are, but I just want a car! Kind of like in, you remember when I played Smash TV, and you could win like a lifetime supply of meat in that game, like your character could, if you like get the right, because in Smash TV you're basically in like an arena of death, but it's really like a TV show, like that's the context of the game. Anyway, so yeah, the vertical cabinet. I think that is super cool. And you know what? I honestly, I don't have a huge urge to get like a real arcade cabinet in my house. First of all, I don't think there'd be any room for it. I think that's you know, just a fact that is true. Oh, let's kill this guy. You jerk, I'm so damaged. Maybe I should wait it out for a wrench. But yeah, I don't have a real urge to get a real arcade cabinet, but what I think would be awesome is a tabletop one. So if you Google cocktail table arcade cabinets, you can see the type of cabinet that I want, and I just died. And it's the type of cabinet you could play this game on, you could play like Pac-Man, you could play all sorts of things. Actually, I guess this one wouldn't work well, because you'd need to have, what are the words I'm looking for here? A steering wheel, but if you just bought a generic cocktail arcade cabinet, you would not have a steering wheel. Oh, what do I do here? Start? Oh, there we go. Oh, this is going to take forever. Oh, no, wait, no, it won't. Jay. Good driving, Jay. You did not qualify for the next derby. Insert a coin and press start. Okay, well, that's... yeah. So, as you can see, there's not much to this game. Oh, give me the wrench. Yes. They're going down. Speaking of this game not having a Wikipedia page, one thing that I've always thought is weird is how does Google know what every video game in existence is called? Because if you ever upload a video to YouTube of a video game, under advanced settings, you can pick what game it is, and as you start typing in a game name, it auto-completes it. But it has like every game, like even really, really old, obscure ones it knows about. And I'm sure it will have this one too. So, you know, Wikipedia doesn't know about this game, but Google probably does. I don't know, was there some employee at Google at one point that was tasked with literally typing in every game in existence? I mean, I'm sure I think that feature came about when YouTube Gaming kind of showed up. Let's try a new strategy here. It's called Stay Out of the Fray. Let's let all the other enemies kill themselves. And I'm trying to stay out of the fray, but the fray has come to me. So I'm just gonna kind of hang out down here, not get in too many fights. Can you guys? Okay, forget it. Let's go to the other side of the map because things are getting too crazy down here. I'm slamming on the gas, and my car is slamming its butt. We're sandwiching this poor guy in here. He's like in the car, like, oh God, stop! Stop what you're doing! Okay, let's aim our butt at all the other cars so they can't ram our engine. That's the key to this game. You have to protect your engine. I guess they call it the radiator in the game description. Alright, they're having a party up there. This one guy's like, hey, what's going on down here, buddy? What are you doing? And he wants to play with us, but psych, we don't want to play with him. We're just going to drive in a circle because I feel like it's harder for them to hit us when we do that. Oh, we killed him. We killed him. You should have left well enough alone, my friend. Okay, now, this is like the cheapest strategy, but it's effective. Also gives me a little time to think. I'm just having a J moment here. I'm like in the corner like, time out! Time out, guys! I just want to think about some things. If you guys could leave me to it, that would be great. Oh, there's a key. I don't know what the key does. I presume it must heal me. Let's pay attention. And actually get the key this time, if I can get it. Oh man, we're all over the place. That's the freaking key, idiot! What did it do? It gave us points. That is not what I wanted. We're just hitting the tire. Oh, there is a wrench! Or a screwdriver or something. Okay. Here we go. Boom! Oh no! Get out of the way! Yes. I think we took more damage than we prevented. Or than we recovered there. Okay. Go, go. Nope, wrong way, wrong way. Nope. Come on. You can get the wrench. It is so hard to drive precise in this game, it's crazy. When there's a bunch of cars, I just kind of slip all over the road, and whoever dies, dies. But now I'm letting them duel it out. It's the duel of the devils. One of them died. Alright, now it's time to make our move. He's like, what the hell? You didn't even participate. Now you're gonna win? And I'm like, psych! That's the master plan, buddy. Master plan. That really is the master plan when you're actually in a demolition derby. It's like there is value in just sticking it out in the corner, not doing anything. Yeah, people may boo you, but if we're just talking about winning, good driving, junkyard jockey. And who is she? She's just some random woman in a low buttoned-up shirt who's just awarding trophies. How did she get that gig? Also, I gotta say, the other drivers do not take pride in their work. I'm the only one who colored my car. They're driving around generic gray pieces of crap, gray and orange. Or not, yeah, I'm colorblind, guys. Gray and green. Wow, why did I say orange? Why did I say orange? It's like, driving this game is wrinkling my brain a little too much, I think. And I'm about to die here. Oh man, living more than like a round or two is tough in this game. But I mean, realistically, you've seen the entire game. The interesting thing with these old games is this is it. There's not like a hidden level that you haven't seen yet. I do like how the game keeps going even after I've lost. That's pretty cool. So we can just sit here and soak up all the, oops, what the? Jay. Oh my god. I was totally not paying attention. I was holding the button by mistake. Well, we'll just say that spells J. Die. And who's gonna win? Gray or green? Place your bets now, folks. I think green's gonna win. Gray killed himself by running into green. That's embarrassing. That's like when somebody tries to fight their bully and they throw a punch at their bully and then they break their hand on their bully's jaw. That's what that was like. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's give this like one or two more shots, just to kind of fill up and make sure we get our fill of this game. We do have like another credit or two. But you know, as a kid, I always thought destruction derbies were pretty cool in real life. I think it stems from like a fascination with mech combat, to be totally honest. Like one of the earliest computer games I really got into was this old BattleTech game, and I've talked about this in many other videos. Not gonna reinvent the wheel here and tell you all about it. But one thing that the game did have was an RPG, and at one point you could go to a starport, and there were like mech arenas, and you could bet on battles, and you could even fight in the arena if you wanted. And obviously, as a kid, I was like, that is pretty much the coolest thing I've ever heard. Giant mech arenas, why doesn't that exist? And the closest thing that really does exist is demolition derbies. So demolition derbies are kind of, I mean, they're kind of out of my own interest. Like, I'm not really a car guy per se, but because they are the closest thing we have to mech arenas, I think that's why they kind of are enticing to me in some way. I also, you know, if I was playing this with a friend, if I had a friend, guys, and I was playing this game with them, we could actually team up against the computer here, which is kind of fun. But of course, you know, only one, you know, 6 cars enter, but only one can survive. So even if you ever do play this game with a friend, then, you know, at some point you're gonna have to fight each other, which just reminds me of, you know, Streets of Rage, actually. Which, I mean, I guess, you know, maybe I should give a spoiler alert. Although I don't know, it feels like for like a 30 or 40-year-old game, however old Streets of Rage is, I shouldn't need to give out a spoiler warning, you know? Like, go play the game, or I guess stop listening if you really want to be surprised by Streets of Rage. But at the end of that game, after you and a buddy have spent the entire game allied up, beating up random people on the street, you get the option to turn on each other. And if you do, you have to fight each other, which is actually pretty cool. And that was a pretty revolutionary, neat concept when I was a kid to see that in a video game. I want to play Streets of Rage sometime. I don't know when I'll get around to it, but we'll play it at some point. Okay, we're just going to be... Ah! That's our initials for this time around. Okay, once more. Let's start thinking about Demolition Derby here. So this is not going to be a long video because there's really not much to talk about with this game. So this game was in the book, 1001 Video Games You Must Play Before You Die. And what do you think? Is this a game you must play? Or what do I think, I guess I should say, because I won't be able to hear your guys' opinions until you write comments, and that will be much later in the future after I've recorded this. Anyway, well, this game is like an interesting... It does have some fun gameplay. But you know what? These days, this strikes me as essentially a minigame. So if you've ever played Little Big Planet 2, there is a built-in minigame called, like, Bumper Cars, where you're all kind of bumping into each other like this, except that rather than there being a wall around the arena, there's a pit, and you're just trying to knock each other off. So it's a similar-ish type gameplay, and if you get killed, you respawn, and it's whoever can rack up the most kills. I actually kind of find that more rewarding than this. The thing I don't like about this game is when you ram people with your trunk, you still take damage. So really the best strategy is to avoid getting hit as much as you can until the very end game, and then just come in and snipe the last guy. Because the other thing is you don't get fully healed between rounds, and so if you're too damaged at the end of a round, you'll start the next round at a disadvantage. And so basically just eventually you're going to lose this game. You know, whether you get to round 2 or round 10, eventually you're just going to lose. So, I don't know, because the gameplay is so similar on each level, and like, it, you know, really, in terms of holding up, I mean, the controls and stuff are fine, but, I don't know, it really just feels like a mini-game these days, you know, like this would not be a full game. So, is this a game that you must play before you die? I actually would say no to this one. You know, I don't know if there's any huge fans of Demolition Derby. I'm not saying it's not a fun game that you might want to, like, load up and have a bit of time with a friend on. Especially if you can find that old arcade cabinet, then give it a shot. Then I think that you're going to be playing something that's pretty unique, that's kind of cool. But, you know, generally speaking, is this a game that you must play? I don't know. I don't really think so. It's just, there's just not enough here, I think. And most people, you know, they've played stuff like this before. So, yeah. That's my own opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is Demolition Derby here a game that you play regularly with all your friends? Or is it a game that, like, you look at it and you go, it's interesting, it's kind of cool, but just, you know, probably wouldn't make set time aside to play it. Let me know in the comments down below, because, hey, we're all allowed to have our own opinions about video games. I'm always interested to hear what you guys think. And beyond that, I think I kind of run out of stuff to say. So, guys, if you've been liking this video, if you've enjoyed checking out Demolition Derby with me today, or if you just enjoyed my company, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I will be back in a couple days with a new video and a new game in my ongoing quest to play through the book, 1001 Games You Must Play Before You Die. So tune in again, my friends, and until then, take care of yourselves, and peace. Man, this guy in the middle is just getting pwned. Look at him. He's given up on even trying. I know I'm ramming him with my engine, doing more damage to myself than him. But, oh god! I guess he had the last laugh after all. I'm the first one dead. Well, that strategy was crap.